Hey, so I'm Sissy Antiquemeyer of No Longer Quivering. I'm now just myself doing my own thing. Um, the spit has hit the fan. That's all I'm going to say. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about very quickly tonight. I want to start by talking about all the crazy stuff that has happened with the airlines. My husband flew to the States today from Liberia. If you're coming to Costa Rica, you have to fly into one of two international airports here, the San Jose airport or the airport in Liberia. I like the San Jose airport, except that it is chaos and it's not as nice as the one in Liberia by quite a bit is not as nice. I will say this for the one in San Jose, they have a Lava Terrazza restaurant there, which is an Italian coffee shop that is out of this world. It's on the second floor of the San Jose airport. If you ever get stuck there, go have coffee. And they usually have a really good buffet sometimes with all kinds of Costa Rican food that's actually reasonable for airport food. So he flew out, and I want to talk about a little bit because they changed some things. Hey, Cheryl, I'm glad you got the notification. I had to keep changing the times because one of my kids called, and there was a lot going on. Um, so he flew out of Liberia, and American Airlines. He usually does not fly American. This is our first experience with him in a long, long time. Tickets in and out of Costa Rica now are super expensive because there's not as many flights. There's nowhere near as many flights. And the few flights there are booked solid. They're overbooked a lot of times. A lot of Costa Ricans, the ones that have money, are flying out into the U.S. to get shots. They're coming out to get their beer bug vaccines, and they're flying to the US for this. So it's causing quite a bit of confusion with the airlines and the prices. Prices have doubled almost in just a very short period of time. Hey, yeah, kids always come first, particularly kids that just bought a house and that are puzzling over what they're going to do. I mean, part of the phone call was looking at paint swatches on a wall. That's literally what part of it was. And saying, hey, I like the one you picked, but I like this one better, or maybe this one would work, that sort of thing. That sort of thing. Um, he had to fill out all new forms. There's a new form that the government in Costa Rica is requiring you to fill out. It's sort of a lodge form. You have to tell them pretty much why you're there, if you're coming back, and why. Put all the dates on it, sign it, the whole 9 yards. It's something that the airlines are requiring that looks like it's brand spanking new. It wasn't anything we had to fill out a couple of weeks ago. We walked out. They didn't require anything like that. So it's we've had to have that conversation. Yeah, that's an interesting one. So anyway, they've got all these new forms and things you have to fill out, and there's a lot of different hoops that you're going to have to jump through if you come here to Costa Rica to visit. There's still the health pass. You still have to pay for extra health insurance while you're here, even if you're vaccinated. There's no way around that, unfortunately. If you decide to do that, let me know. I can give you a list of the cheapest places to get the international insurance. If you buy it here, it's going to be like $30 a day. They're going to gig you hard. Paint colors, yes. And I was just telling her what color I'm thinking about painting the living room and the kitchen. So we're doing the paint color thing right now. We're both doing it, particularly since I'm getting ready to remodel the bath and remodel it a second time and get it painted at the exact same time. Um, it seems to me that the airlines are just making everything all the harder. And while we're all shoved in the tiny space, somebody next to us had a Pomeranian. And of course, yours truly had bad asthma again, and I had to get away. I had a panic attack related to the asthma in the airport, and that's not anything I would wish on anybody. Went through it, got through it. I'm on the other side. But apparently, the dog thing is a new extreme allergy for me that has never been so severe before. So I'm going to have to start traveling with my N95 and my wind filter and things, I think, and my injectable Benadryl. I don't see anywhere around it. It's just gotten bad. So I didn't want to talk about that really, but I had to talk about that to the five minute mark, because one of the things I've realized with YouTube is that as long as you talk about something innocuous for the first 5 minutes, you can get away with talking about anything else in the last 5 minutes or ever how many you got there. Yeah, you made a Suzanne live. Oh, 2 years since seeing her. Dog fur can hold a lot. Yeah, dog fur holds a lot of dander, unfortunately. And it's not the short hair dogs. They don't bother me. It's just these ones with this fuzzy hair that seem to bother me. Cheryl, I'm glad to see you get to see your daughter. I haven't seen my son for 2 years. I saw one of my daughters in March. I'm going to see the other one next month for her 30th birthday. I'll see her and I'll see my son. It's been a while since I've seen her too. I've seen her about 18 months ago. The son, it's been longer. So then I will have touched base with all of my kids this year from having been so far away. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the entire anti-KJ truthers community is what I like to call it, but a lot of it I'm just going to call the anti-KJ community has lost their minds again, and all kinds of stuff's happening. The preacher boys are getting death threats. Rambling on, yeah. So the preacher boys have been getting death threats, but at the same time, they've turned around and they've asked all of us not to talk about the fact that they've knocked heads with smoking a crystal ball, and they don't want anyone talking about it. I think they're doing the wrong thing. I think that the more people that expose the stuff that's going on between them and her and other people, possible. Some people are saying it's not her, that it is hackers or people spoofing her. That could be too. Who knows? But it has gotten serious. Anytime you start adding the death threats in, and not just that, we've got somebody that had a stroke and is now turning around and blaming Real Entertainment News for her stroke, which is pretty interesting that she would go there with that. I don't think that he had much to do with it. If she was stressed out over it, she needs to get off the internet. I'm just going to say that. If you're going to get so worried and stressed out, you're going to have a heart attack. And this is somebody I like. So, anyway. And what do you guys think about the whole situation with Sassy? Do you think that Sassy, I keep hearing Sassy is KJ or a KJ stan. I've never had anything between her and I that indicates that at all. I like Sassy. You didn't hear that, Sue? It's gotten crazy. Yeah, now they're targeting Belinda, and I don't quite understand why. Cheryl, it's become a different kind of crazy. There are death threats being going on, and it just doesn't even make any sense. Those are scary. I mean, I've had a ton of them from the new independent fundamentalist Baptists are the ones that threaten me all the time, or they used to. They don't threaten me much anymore since I haven't said much about them anymore and I'm not writing about them. But that was basically what was going on. So she apparently did have some screenshots from KJ's Discord. And KJ is running around smoking her crystal ball, talking about that everybody's trolling her Discord. They're trolling her brand spanking new Reddit thing. I don't know why she's thinking that. I went in and took a look at her Reddit thing. It's a public message board. And looking at a public message board that's available to everybody is not trolling. It's just taking a look at a message board. I wanted to see if she had any engagement. And it doesn't look like there's a lot of engagement. She's got maybe 30 posts up. Half of them are look like they're Duggar related. The same people are saying the same old things, and then it just shut down. Nobody's saying anything. It looks like she's not having a lot of engagement. It is a world going crazy, Lisa, and I don't quite understand it. So I don't quite get why everybody is being so secret squirrel and freaking out and deactivating this and deactivating that and this person is saying that this person is KJ, this person is saying that these people are driving it. I'm kind of the idea that we just kind of need to wait and see what happens with all of these supposed death threats. I know that the preacher boys are taking it seriously. They've turned around and talked to the FBI and to their local law enforcement, is my understanding. So if it is her, it'll come out and they'll punish her. I hope they punish whoever it is. Hey, realification. I was just talking about a lot of boring stuff about the airport to get past YouTube because they only look at the first 5 or 6 minutes of your video. Um, yeah, I don't know if you can take screenshots of a Discord. It seems like you would be able to, if you have a screenshot tool set up on whatever you're doing. I was frustrated the other night because I was trying to do something for my husband's trip, which was take a screenshot of his COVID test because I was having problems with the printer. You print the COVID test right from the PDF and it'd be all smeary. The way to get around that sometimes is to take a screenshot of the test or whatever document you're trying to print. Just take a regular old screenshot, turn it around, move it into your picture files, and then print it as a photo instead of printing it as a document. And it does well. But I discovered I didn't have any screenshot capability on my husband's Chrome. He uses Chrome. I use Firefox. That's when I'm not using Ubuntu and other things like that. So my old computer's got other things. So, but I always have a screenshot tool. So that was a little interesting. I had to open everything of his in Firefox to do the screenshots. So there's ways to do screenshots everywhere. You just have to figure out. I'm not familiar with Discord either, Cheryl. I've only gone in and looked once or twice in the Discord. In the one connected with the Reddit one, I don't get Discord. I don't understand it. I guess it's another platform. Again, gotten out of hand. And KJ is just stupid to do something like that. You are right about that. I don't know if she's actually involved or if this is someone trying to spoof her. I can't really determine that. If that's her running around saying this, I will make your life a living hell with my so many subs. That's awful. But she needs to lose her channel if they come up with they're able to prove that it is her saying that. You can't use your readership, your viewership. Oh my goodness, I'm just looking out. All of a sudden, the sunset reflection behind me is just crazy, crazy gorgeous. You can't use your people as a bully cudgel. You just can't. When you start doing that, you shouldn't be having shouldn't be having a channel. And I know there are creators that are doing exactly that. They're foaming up their groups. I know right now that there are some creators that are afraid that they're going to be forced off. There's some creators that have recently just stopped out of the blue and shut everything down and taken everything. So I know a lot of people have them. I just have not. It's just another thing, and I have enough things. Yeah, I'm not on them anymore either. I figured that once they started doing screen caps of them, it's not a safe place to say what you actually mean. Okay, American Princess, that makes sense. Twitter is enough for me too, and Twitter is crazy lately. I mean, I've just been watching everything going on in the community and not understanding it. Dottie Morgan, who I do like and respect quite a bit, posted some things that were given to her by Nat to post. I don't know how true those are. It's just, and KJ shared an email that was sent to her, she said, and it doesn't look like an email. It looks like a text document. Like if you were to put something together in Word, that's exactly what it looked like, not like an email at all. I think so too, Cheryl. I know BX has one, and I went in his and looked around, and I didn't really catch what was going on. There's some that are private. Real, I like Reddit too. I go into the KJ one. I'm a member of all the crazy television shows I like the really trashy one, Love After Lockup. They make me laugh so hard on that sub so many times. I love that. And I'm on the one for Handmaid's Tale, for the Queen, not the Queen, the Crown, and for the Righteous Gemstones right now. Those are primarily the ones I go on. I can just imagine American Princess. I know that that is where they say that Smoking a Crystal Ball doxed Creep Show was on Uni's Discord. So I know that that happened there. So maybe I'll start looking at those again. But right now, I just have my hands full with real life, and Twitter is enough. Facebook is my real life friends and my family. It's just a lot. Real, I wonder if they look for nut jobs for that show because Love After Lockup seems to every year it gets worse and worse and worse. And they have another crazy pile. Here's what I don't get to. Um, every year they have certain like almost like stereotypes they feel. Every year you've got your nut job that's pretending that he is wealthy and he is catfishing someone way younger and way too hot for him. And eventually it comes out he's not rich at all. He's just pretending to be rich. Can anyone say Scott number one, Scott number two, and now this guy who's wearing that awful toupee? American Princess, it is hard. I actually have a list where every day I make myself sit down and write out what train wreck things have happened this day in the KJ community because it has been so much stuff. And sometimes I've been doing this since January. So when I go back and I look, it's just like every day there's a new, there's something new that's happened. It's just crazy. And she plays these narratives. If you can lay it out like that, you can see just incredibly how the narratives that she runs work. And it's just pretty crazy. It's a train wreck. You're right. You can't help but watch. It's like a real life Love After Lockup, but we're the ones getting scammed instead of some poor girl or some poor old man with an or ugly toupee or no teeth or long hair like poor Scott. And you just wonder. You wonder how on earth people can keep doing this stuff and get away with it. She does have a pattern that she cycles through. And it's interesting when you lay it out month by month and you look at the pattern and you figure it out. Which Scott? Was it the Scott with the weird lip or Scott with the long hair? Cheryl, you're probably wise to do that. And Kentucky Girl, I wonder about that too. Hey, Amanda, I wonder how they sleep at night. And I would love to, I swear, I would love to be a shrink and do a psychoanalyzation because I would want to know what type of thought processes, not just KJ, but some of the more problematic people in the community. There are people in the community, I'm just looking at the stuff they're doing and saying and going, what? It's like I said, when Real Entertainment News said today that Charlotte and police wife life accused him of causing police wife life's stroke. I just could not believe that. I'm sorry she had a stroke. I hope she recovers quickly. If the internet thing is giving her enough stress that she's freaking out and thinking that that's what caused her stroke, get offline. That's all I can say. Take up reading a book, take up bird watching, take up gardening as a hobby. Oh, the weird lip realification. He does kind of look like Hugh Hefner, the guy with the toupee. Yeah, Sue, I understand that she's okay, but it's she's had a stroke, and it's possible to have these small TIAs. I had one. I had one almost 3 years ago. It was a very bad experience. I had it because I had a bout of really high blood pressure because with the mast cell, my blood pressure goes up and down, up and down. Most of the time it's very low, but I will sometimes have some crazy spikes. I'm aware of it now. I take my blood pressure 3 times a day and I medicate when it goes high now instead of that. I think she was close to LRC, and I know that various people who oppose her were saying a lot of really ugly things to her in the wake of LRC's death, which is clearly not right. That's not a good thing. I don't pay attention to any of them on that side unless I hear something really awful like about her stroke. I hope she recovers. I hope she recovers well. I'm going to say it's going to take her some months because even as minor as mine was, I just oozed a little blood from in my brain because I have thin blood. Um, it takes a while. You're going to have a fatigue like you've never felt before. And it's going to, for me, it was like 3 or 4 months sitting back in my rocking chair doing nothing because I felt really bad. I was just hammered all the time with exhaustion. So I'm hoping she does that. I hope she's able to rest and get over it and get not have the stress. Yeah, real Stan looks like he's a wish version of Hef. You are right. Um, the other thing about the guys on Love After Lockup is the guy with the lip, Scott. I did see that interview. It's pretty interesting. Um, Scott has always made me laugh because of the lip. He swears up and down that his allergies. It looks like a cleft lip repair. It really does. And he said that he is on the same medication that I was for my asthma for many, many years. For 8 years, I was on Zolair. He takes Zolair for his lip and for his lip allergies, his food allergies, and was complaining that he couldn't take it because he didn't have insurance and it's $1,600 a shot, which it is. It's quite expensive. It's a biologic medicine. All of these new vaccines that we're getting for the beer virus are most of them, except for the Johnson and Johnson, they're biologics that came out of Xolair and all the other drugs. They're biologics right now that everybody's getting. Ooh, cat's life, you had them too. Realification. I wanted them to ask him about his entire sloppy financial life because he kept screeching how wealthy he was, but I could tell by the things that he left undone and his priorities that he was not wealthy at all. Could have been Amanda. I don't know. Oh, Charlotte was. Ugh. I haven't watched her in months. Not after when I told her to grow a little bit of a thicker skin about the emails. I haven't spoken to her since, except to apologize for that and a couple other things back months ago. The thing is, there's so many people, I don't have a chance to watch everybody. So I make sure I watch the people that either make me laugh or I like. I watch Sue M. I frequently will watch, oh, shoot. Why am I drawing about Carolyn Ironwell? I watch her quite a bit. I watch various other people. I watch Dottie sometimes. I watch Aaron, and I just hop around. I like Renelle Smith, I think it is. Um, and the rest of the people, I just hop around some. Mostly I'm watching like History Channel stuff and stuff like that. I was just watching one about Castle Huska today that was kind of funny. Bait and switch, you're right. And the girl did the same thing. They kind of deserved each other. Scott's girlfriend, she's still in jail, I understand, and she's already back on date a prisoner or whatever, write a prisoner. I like Renelle too. I love Renelle. She's good. I wasn't? Well, they took it really hard when I told her to toughen up. Aaron's entitlement videos are hysterical. Yes, indeed. Emily Baker, sometimes I like. Sometimes. I don't always like what she's saying or doing. Like the other day, she was saying that she thought that the Supreme Court ruling on the student athlete thing, she thought it was going to be a good thing. I disagree, but only because I'm on the other side. I went to a college where football, basketball, baseball was king, and the rest of us kind of got kicked aside. Especially the art program I was in, we actually underwent being moved from building to building to building at one point, and it was pretty obvious that the money that they were collecting from the alumni funds was going straight to the sports, and the rest of us could have just gone to hell as far as LSU is concerned. I don't think that anything that allows the football team to make more money is a good thing. I sent my children to a college that does not have a professional football team, and I'm glad I did. Amanda Pants, yes, I watch Amanda Pants too pretty regularly. And I haven't watched Bailey, but I'm going to have to. I like a Welsh accent, so I'm probably going to have to. I keep meaning to, and sometimes I'll stumble across people and watch him. Right now, I've been watching Lost in the Pond quite a bit. He's an Englishman who has moved to America, who's puzzled about everything, and I've laughed at all of that. That's the thing, yeah. Um, Cover something isn't beat to death. You are right. More animal channels than commentary. Yes, you and your roos, you and your kangaroos. I guess you don't watch the channels where they make pineapple pizza, huh, Sue? No, well, sadly, there are a lot of universities that are that way about sports. They care more about the sports teams and the players than they do the entire student body and the fact that they're getting an education. My late mother in law was an instructor at LSU who was leaned on quite a bit by the football team, the head basketball coach, to pass players that had third grade reading skills or less, just to go ahead and pass them. And she refused. She was not well liked for that. Lost in the Pond is funny, Lisa. I've laughed at him in some of the restaurants that he's liked here in America. I'm going, you like that food? Oh, because being raised in New Orleans, I am kind of funny about my food. I'm very funny about my food, even here. I'll tell you, there aren't that many great restaurants here. The ones that I have that I like, I will go to a lot, but the others, I'm kind of like, why would I pay for that? One of the local restaurants got really offended because I wrote a review and I said they use frozen onion rings, they use frozen French fries, frozen hamburger patties, and this and that, and the other thing. Why are you going there? Huh. So I'll have to take a look at some of those. Cheryl, I am too. I watch quite a few things. At least I've heard that the U of Michigan and Ohio State are that way. My late father-in-law taught in Michigan State for some years, and they're the same way. Might be my internet, Sue. Might be my internet. I am here in Costa Rica. It is all screwy half the time. And I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt because I'm kind of screwy with my voice because I had asthma today and moved to England for 4 years when I was 19 years old. The culture shock was quite an experience. Huh. behavior guys. I will have to take a look at them. I like to watch. There's a guy who does disasters in history. Geo something. I watch him quite a bit too. The reason I started watching him, oh, you were right, Lisa. The food in Germany is excellent. We did gain weight there too. We were stationed there. There's a guy I watch too that the reason I started watching him, he does all these disasters and things, is because of Debbie Pearl's fictional book that I just discovered recently and read called The Vision. One of the important things that she was talking about in The Vision is that Yellowstone is a super volcano that is going to explode any day now. And when it does, it's going to take out everything in the US up to the Smoky Mountains where she lives. So I had to take a look and determine how real that is. And I see at what point she became obsessed with that. Yellowstone is a super volcano, but guess what? It's a super volcano that's not active right now. They monitor that. They're looking at that. It could explode, but the chances of it exploding are so minuscule right now. It would be showing some signs it was under stress well before it did that. So Debbie Pearl, Michael Pearl's wife, would be just fear mongering like she normally does. So her novel, when she was insisting that you had to be ready for this horrible, 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 terrible, terrible happening, that only this solution she made out of berries was going to be able to cure you if you got ill. And there was going to be no medicine because medicine is wrong. And I could go on all day about the pearls. She wrote the world's worst fictional book, and that's saying something because I thought before that Von Ullman and Doug Wilson were tied. Doug Wilson wrote a romance novel that was the worst thing I've ever read. It involved a romance back in the 1800s that involved potato salad throwing and a Simon Legree like character and so many poorly written characters that it was just ridiculous. The Pearls do wear tinfoil hats, and all the things she was carrying on about in the book The Vision, mostly about the Muslims. She was really, really hating on anybody of Arabic descent. She had a real hard on for them. Anybody who was Arab or Muslim in any way, shape, or form, she had already painted them as terrorists in the book. And her book was all about they were taking over the US. They were even taking over her little tiny part of Tennessee. It was just crazy. It is constantly venting pressure, Cheryl, but they were explaining how if it was actually dangerous active, the land around it would be rising and falling, which they've had that happen once back in the late 90s. And that's probably what she picked up on that made her start claiming that Yellowstone was due to explode horribly at any moment now. It's no longer doing that. It's except for venting the pressure, it's not that much of a risk. Noelle, that is awful. We were talking about that the other day with some people from our old church who are all into the rapture. The rapture isn't even in the Bible. It's not even in the Bible. So I don't know where people even get that from. And fear mongering is a big part of fundamentalist churches. They love to fear monger. They love to tell you you're going straight to hell. If you think this, you're going to hell. They're the ultimate thought police. They don't even know the Bible, most of them, I think. So yeah. The Pearls are from Tennessee. They were in the Memphis area for some years, but as typical fundy town, apparently it started having problems with CBS. And once they started having problems, they were investigated by CPS. They moved to Eastern Tennessee, and that's a feature, not a bug, of a lot of fundamentalist families. Is once CPS comes calling and saying, "Hey, wait a minute, you cannot be beating your children like that," they run. They find some other place to be. But now all of their kids are gone, 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 gone. Whew. And as far as resisting the tattoo, that's always funny. I thought about getting a tattoo. There are a couple I'd like to get, but I'm afraid of it because of my mast cell. I would probably get a teeny tiny tattoo on my wrist and my arm would swell up huge and weird things would happen and cut my arm off. So I content myself with sometimes drawing on my skin. If you read a Revelation, I'm not really sure I would interpret it that way. Um, I think they have a pretty good relationship with most of their children. Their children are still in the religion. One of the children, I can't remember which one of the males, he was married and he got into his wife divorced him. And there were all kinds of allegations of abuse of her and the children, and he does not have custody of those children. And I think that there are some, from what I understand, some pretty strict visitation guidelines in place because of the abuse that is endemic with what Michael Pearl teaches. Um, I know they were not all of them were that extreme. I'm driving out to get tacos, Rena. Oh, you lucky, lucky dog. I wish that I could drive out and get tacos. Unfortunately, I cannot. My husband flew out for the US today. I get a week off of cooking, so I am celebrating by not cooking, by just eating what I can. Amanda, that's exactly right. It's not to be taken literally. That's one of the things that I don't like about some types of fundamentalist religions. They take it literally and then they invent all kinds of stuff. All you have to do is look at Jim Baker and his flood buckets he's selling with all this food. Some of the funniest videos, if you ever want to watch them on YouTube, are people trying his dehydrated food and giving their expert opinion on whether it tastes good or not. I think that is pretty hysterical. Oh, Rita Roo, you're making my yarn fun so happy. I'm getting ready to order yarn too, so it's pretty funny. Thank you so much. Yeah, John Darby did start the whole rapture idea in the 1830s. It's amazing some of the things that have people have added and just twisted. The video of New Year's shower, I did. I did. I feel so sorry for that poor girl. I'm glad she got away from her mama. When I saw the announcement of whether it was a boy or a girl that her mother did with the cardboard, goodness gracious, it is just pretty crazy. I bet so. My husband gets me when I put on that voice. She had a baby shower. She did have a baby shower. The baby shower was a little better than I expected, but you know how she is. It's on it's on Jill's Instagram, and I think it's at I want to say I saw it at Reddit, Funny Snark Uncensored. It may have been there. Lisa, those were bad. That's going to sound horrible, but I didn't think the MREs were bad. My husband would bring them home, or sometimes we'd have extras, and we're just like, when my kids were little, they would love that. We'd say, let's have an MRE night. And we would just pull those things out and start eating them left and right, preparing them, pulling out the crackers, preparing the little meat stuff. It was always fun and not as bad as you would think. Called meals rejected by everybody. And I always thought it was funny. They always put fruitcake in them. And I know most people hate fruitcake. And I was like, why on earth would you put fruitcake in this? The tiny bottles of hot sauce. You were right. I like that too. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed taking those apart and having them with the kids. Like I said, it was just a fun thing to do every now and then that we would do. TV dinners. Oh yes, I remember those. And it's kind of funny because here you can't even get them. They don't even carry anything remotely like that. I would have to go on to Walmart in Liberia to get anything that was even slightly like a TV dinner. My microwave blew up the other day, so I don't have a microwave. She was so impressed with what Suzanne, Anna's little sister, did for Dory's belated wedding shower. Aaron, I didn't even pick up on that. I did not even pick up on that she'd done that. Beans and Franks, yes, I remember those too. Canned peaches and the John Wayne candy chocolate bar. You were right. Did you see that the daughter of the couple that's housing John Duggar? Yeah, John, I know that. I know that. Not only is it twisted, but it just shows how insular, tiny, and almost inbred that Quiverful is, that all these people are marrying and intermingling. I hope this is the only generation for that, because if they keep on, God knows what will happen. We're going to have people that end up with spavins, rickets, and with bleeding disorders before long if they keep that up. I saw that she modeled one area. It looked very familiar, but I wasn't 100% sure, Erin, where she'd gotten that from. I didn't really realize that. Oh, poor Nori. Her mother has clearly got some issues. And I saw that they're saying that her sister is courting, that there's a young man for her. And I hope they get married. I hope each one of those kids manages to get out of that house, because I think that's the best thing for each one of them. Yeah. Is that kind of bad? That's kind of bad and twisted that I actually admitted that I liked it, like them getting married. I know they're receiving some kind of payment. They can say that they're not, but the very fact that the daughter is being courted by Keller tells me that there might have been a deal going on there. The Kellers, I want to say that I think they're in the Jacksonville area. You remember when, um, do you remember when Jill Rodriguez was down there visiting them, visiting Nuri and Nathan, and she had her kids climbing on the walls of that ancient fort that were marked "Don't climb on," and then she took pictures of them climbing on these antique, falling apart walls. And then the next thing you know, us haters were saying something about it, and she was very offended. Somebody had written an email to the park rangers there, because it's another one of the U.S. parks under the Park Service. Hey, real. I warn you, real. I am fully full of asthma drugs, and we're talking about the Rodriguez's. We were talking about the crazy stuff going on. I talked about just a little bit about police wife life trying to say that you triggered her stroke. I am just completely agog by that. I can't believe anybody would go there with that and say, triggered it. No, no. If you're that triggered by somebody on the internet, you just need to get off. If you're having that kind of stress, isn't it though fishy how they all are? Saint Augustine, yeah, that is hysterical. She does talk so weird. I find myself talking like her when I listen to her too much. And my husband says, "What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you talking like that crazy woman?" So there's that. And so I try not to ever talk like Joe Rodriguez. She, yeah, they did. They went back up. Real, I just paid double for what I would normally pay to fly from Costa Rica to DC. I just paid double. I'm kind of disgusted with that. There are fewer flights here since COVID. Nothing has reopened. Very few airlines have come back in. So there's not very many tickets, and what tickets there are, they're getting snatched up hard by people here flying to the States to get the COVID vaccination, which is what I'm doing in July. I'm going to visit my daughter. My hair thing came out. And I'm going to visit my daughter, and I'm going to get the vaccine, and I'm going to go on a crazy shopping spree like I do every time when I go to the States once or twice a year. Um, so the plane tickets, yeah, her accent is a weird mixture. Um, it's really a weird mixture. This it's really hard to parse. And now that she's living in Ohio, I wonder if she's going to pick up whatever an Ohio accent is. I'm not really sure. And real the other day, plane tickets. I can't remember the name of the Southwest had for 2 days. They had a half price sale if you had this code. My husband can tell you between both days, I spent about 4 hours online trying to get a ticket, and I was not able to get tickets for us. I was really pissed off because we're planning on flying back to the States in the fall, and there are no tickets. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I know that they're not even flying here yet. So it was kind of funny. I didn't realize that until after I was trying to get a half price ticket. And it was like, duh, they're not even flying in here right now. So it's like, okay, no wonder. Okay. Um, Real entertainment news. The problem is, okay, here's the thing with Costa Rica. It's socialized medicine, which can be good and bad. It means that everybody does get basic things taken care of, but not necessarily really great. Everybody I know that has a half a brain and any money goes on private insurance, which is what we have. We have our private insurance from the States. Healthcare here is so much cheaper. I can't even begin to tell you. When I go to the doctor here, I pay the doctor right up front, and then I have to file with my insurance in the States. What I pay for the entire doctor's visit is less than what I pay for a copay in the States. So it is way cheaper to do that, to have any kind of health care here. Private clinics are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. One time they came out here and treated me at the house when I was really sick. Um, so healthcare is a lot better here, and you could be seen easily. I just walk right in. The tickets are ridiculous right now. But here's the thing. Costa Rica has been trying to buy vaccine from the United States, from China, from Russia, from wherever since the vaccines first came out. Their first order, they ordered 2 million doses. There are 6 million people living here. They ordered initial 2 million doses. 10,000 doses arrived. So they keep ordering and they keep getting these ridiculously small numbers. They petitioned Joe Biden administration to get some of these excess vaccines that the U.S. has, and they did finally give us some. They gave 2 million doses of the Johnson and Johnson that were going to expire within the month. So now they're scrambling to vaccinate everybody. They're vaccinating the citizens first. Everybody who has the CAHA insurance, their socialized medicine, those people are getting vaccinated first. Residents, legal residents can be vaccinated. I'm not a legal resident yet. I've been here 4 years. I'm still trying to get my paperwork together. I had it all together and it applied at the beginning of COVID, and they kicked my application out along with thousands of others because they shut everything down for COVID. So I have to reapply, which means I have to go back and get 50 trillion documents and have them all translated into Spanish again. It's quite the process. So I am not eligible to get a vaccination here, and that's if they had the vaccinations. There's so few vaccinations available here that what they're doing is any Tico with money is flying to the US, to Indiana, or to Texas, especially Texas. And those places are vaccinating anybody that walks in with a ID. And they're accepting international passports as IDs. They're vaccinating anybody. So the fact that Ticos are doing this in mass numbers causes there to be a sellout of the airline tickets. The few carriers that are still flying here, the tickets are sold out. It's hard to get a flight out. They're quite expensive. You're competing with the local people who are trying to buy tickets to get vaccinated since they're not going to wait any longer. They're tired of waiting. It's been months and months and months, and we can't even get enough vaccines here. And they said the other day that they're going to start allowing the private clinics to buy vaccinations to vaccinate people like me, gringos who are living here trying to get residency. So that is going to happen, but I'm not going to wait. I have to see one of my kids. She just bought a house. She begged me to come visit her for her 30th birthday, and I'm going to do so. I believe there may be a proposal from her boyfriend coming too. So I want to be there for that. I want to be there to plan the wedding and to say, oh, so I'm hoping that that's what happens. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that's what's about to happen. At least I hope so. Ian, are you watching? Propose to her. So anyway, that's what's going on. So they're flying again, and there's less flights, and so the prices have gone way up. Ebates, yeah, that's the problem with some of these. It's really hard to get a discount. And when Southwest had their 50% off tickets, I only know one person here who managed to score one, and they're only flying out of San Jose. San Jose is a 5-hour ride from here, and their airport is crazy. I have never seen traffic like I've seen in San Jose, and their flights are just overloaded. So I try not to ever fly to San Jose because it's a 5-hour ride. Yeah, and I'm sure the Netherlands have great health care. They have good basic care here, but for anything specialized, you really need to have insurance. The only advantage of signing up for the CAHA, the socialized medicine here, would be I could get all of my medication for free through the CAHA. It wouldn't cost me a dime. So that's probably what all we're ever going to use it for. We're going to use it for the medications. I hope so too, Amanda. I know that she's wanting that. It's her heart's desire. And so I'm hoping that that happens for her. If not, we may have a little sad cry on my shoulder. I have a feeling, but I hope it happens for her. Tickets are expensive right now. I mean, really expensive. And Aaron, you're right. Almost anything is better than U.S. healthcare. The fact that I could walk into the doctor's office 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, was just a revelation for us here. And we have had times, I've had times where something's hit at 3 in the morning and you're throwing up or whatever, and you need to see the doctor. And instead of waiting for the morning or saying, do I need to go to the ER? You just go. You just go. You don't worry about any of that. Wow, I wish I could shop online again. The only place that you can really shop online here and actually expect to get the stuff is Amazon. But I will say this, you can shop at walmart.com and they'll deliver it to the Walmart, and you can drive up there and pick it up, the order pickup, just drive up there, or they once a week they deliver to Tamarindo. And it's the same thing with PriceSmart, which is exactly the same thing as Costco, the same brands, the same things, everything. And somehow they are somehow related to Costco. I don't know if they're owned by the same company or a different company, but it's all the same thing. So it's like today, I had to take my husband to the airport in Liberia. The Price Mart is across the street from the airport. Airport, Price Mart. And down the road, you got the Hilton. So all the Americanized things are right there. There's also a great, great butcher who has meats from Nicaragua. If you haven't lived and you had Nicaraguan beef, It's grain-fed beef. I'm not grain-fed, grass-fed beef that's out there in the field eating. No hormones, no additives, no nothing. The beef here is out of this world, if you could get that. And I go there too once a month or so and buy all my packaged up meat ready to go, frozen solid. And it's really a nice way to live up here. There's so many things that I like much better because of the very natural ways we lived here. I know it used to be called Price Club. That's interesting. And it's so funny here when I pick up the different things that I'm looking at it and just giggling and thinking. And they even have the, you know how when you go to Costco, you can get your hot dog and your drink. They have that. They have the pizzas. They've got the whole 9 yards. We usually go get pizzas when we're there, but I didn't get one today because it's just me. It would take me a week and a half to eat that pizza. That would take my husband a day to eat. So I didn't do that. But I got almond flour. I got cat food. Cat food is the biggest expense here. And so that's really what we are. Um, that's really what we primarily use here. Like I said, we go to the butcher and we use Price Mart. I try to avoid Walmart, but Walmart is a necessary evil. I go there sometimes. I go shopping at. We have this grocery chain here called the Automercado. They have stuff from around the world. They have American food too. Quite expensive. Automercado is the most expensive grocery store you'll ever step foot in. But if you're having one of those days where you're like, I've got to have Swiss chocolate, I've got to have Italian pasta sauce, I've got to have French bread, I've got to have this, that, and the other thing, they have it. It's like, I've got to have Ben and Jerry's. That's the other thing. I got to have Ben and Jerry's. I'm having one of those days. They have it. They have all of that. I can imagine that, Cheryl. My oven here is just a regular size, and I need to remodel my kitchen badly. My appliances are all falling apart. Kitchen's 10 years old, so you can imagine that the appliances are. I should post a picture one day. I've cleaned a lot of the paint off my refrigerator. My refrigerator is down to the steel in places because I've scrubbed the outside so many times. And I've had my oven pop apart. I've got various and sundry oven pieces piled next to the oven. And I told my husband the other day, after the remodel of the bathroom, the kitchen must happen next. It just must. It's just gotten ridiculous. And my microwave dying kind of capped it all. Well, Aaron, that's one bad thing about Costco. It really depends upon where you go, what the Costco is like. I know that from Northern Virginia. It's like Northern Virginia and Whole Foods. You could not pay me to go into Whole Foods in Arlington, Virginia. Oh my God. I started calling that place asshole foods because so many people would go in there that would be, I'm so much better than you, and I'm buying special gilded mushrooms and organic rutabagas and who knows. And I would just laugh at some of these people, but it was always crowded and there were always crazy folks in there. Whereas I would go into the Costco in Manassas and it would be entirely different. Everybody was normal. There was none of this, I'm so twee and perfect and stuff. And so I would go to Manassas, I'd go to Whole Foods there, I would go to Costco. I would just avoid lots of Northern Virginia where the people were just so impressed with themselves. Aaron, I actually have another microwave. I'm going to get it out of the convenience. I'm going to go. It's our old microwave from our house in Virginia. I'll just go get it. And I'll just buy another one for the cabina. I'll just buy a brand spanking new one for the cabina and just use my old one. Hey, hey, M. Butlin. I'm sorry, I can't read tonight. It's just one of those things. So that's what I'll do. I will get one of the cheaper dimensions ones that they make here in Central America that aren't real good, but it'll be good enough. Um, so he knows. And that's one of the things I don't like here. Okay, I'm just going to come right out and say it. There's a large, most of the most of the expat groups here are made up of very distinct things. There are a lot of surfers. I like the surfers just fine. I get along with them just fine, no problem. I was talking to one of them today because I was asking him about his surfboard if the airline charged him extra to ship it because it's considerably larger than a suitcase. I had no problem with the surfer crowd. Those are my people, or they were my people when I used to surf. Eastern Tennessee. I'm doing okay, small town jewel. It hasn't been one of my, oh, thank you, Noel. My yarn fund grows. And that's good because I'm about to pull my hair out with my current project and I got to order new yarn and do something else because I'm going to lose my mind if I keep doing that thing. Um, so what was I even talking about? So the people here. Southeast Virginia. I used to go down to Roanoke sometimes on religious retreats. And I used to love to go shopping in the Roanoke area. They had really good stores. That part of the world has quite a few things. Um, the Summer Wells case, I'm gonna have to look that up. The expats. So you got your surfers, and then you have your millionaires. The people that come here that move into the American communities with the $1 zillion homes. I'm not liking them very much. I'm just going to be really honest with you. Those people get under my skin because they think that their money entitles them to everything. And a lot of them are very badly behaved. So I avoid those people. Right now, those are the people that are running the old church that just ran me out that can't figure out, very stuck up, very mine doesn't stink and so self-impressed. And if you get a pile of them, oh my goodness, missing little girl, it's terrible. They're so self-impressed, so horrible. Uh, I have a few of them that are friends. Most of the time, I avoid them like the plague. And then you have a lot of people that come here that are just a little bit left of center, and those are my people too. I do well with them. I just don't get along with the perpetual tourism crowd, the millionaires. I just have nothing in common with those people at all. Near the Bates, yes, you would be near the Bates. Are you near Michael and Michael Pearl and his wife, Debbie? They're in Eastern Tennessee. I think Summer Wells is dead and the parents are lying. I'm going to have to look into this. A lot of times when children are missing, that's exactly what has happened. Many times I've seen that happen. That's pretty bad. Anderson County. Avoid the pearls, please. Avoid the pearls. And I've talked to an hour, and you can tell I'm really on drugs. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm going to go ahead and I guess I'm going to make something to eat that I don't have to actually cook. Do you think it's wrong to eat your meals out of cans? Because I may do that tonight. I'm not in the mood to cook at all. Party. My husband's gone, so I'm going to be writing. I'm going to be writing and quilting all week, completely, completely without having to do the work because my house stays clean when it's just me. No, no man. Now I do have Gerard who is staying in the cabina, who is protecting me. He's our gardener that sometimes comes in. So anyway, thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I still can't believe all the crazy crap that's going on in the community. I don't know how to parse that. I'm waiting to see what happens with everything. I'm tired of talking about smoking her crystal ball. So as far as I'm concerned, she is a dead subject right now, except where it revolves the very nice, the preacher boys. Okay, I'll see you guys later.